Yo, it's your boy CyberDev in the building, back with another news corner to blow your firewall straight off the grid. This week, it's nuclear. We're talking about your DNA data being sold, journalists getting ghost hacked, British intelligence leaking secrets, and ransomware running through RMM tools like it's Call of Duty Cyber Ops Edition. Strap in for this episode, we ain't holding nothing back. For our first story, 23andMe, the genetic gold mine or data dumpster. Let's kick it off with 23andMe. Yes, the same folks who told you your ancestors might have been Viking warriors. Turns out your personal DNA data might end up in someone else's hands without so much as a do you consent. The company went bankrupt. An ombudsman named Neil Richards says, hey, maybe we should get actual user consent before selling off people's data like it's Black Friday. Meanwhile, Ann Wojcicki, the former CEO, swoops in with her nonprofit and buys back the company. Yeah, you heard right. It's given cyber telenovela. So here's the kicker. Users received a court letter titled Notice of Potential Change of Ownership of Personnel Information. Basically, your genetic code could become someone else's business asset. Don't just worry about your passwords. Start worrying about your genetic passwords. Delete your data if you don't want to wake up one day in a dystopian Netflix documentary. In our next story, Washington Post has been hacked when headlines become target lines. Journalists at the Washington Post got their email accounts bodied. Microsoft account breaches, internal memos are flying. MFA, multi-factor authenticity, not enforced across the board. Passwords, all reset the next day. But here's the scary part. This wasn't random. These were targeted attacks. A big red flag for someone wanted access to the story before the story dropped. It's like phishing or reused credentials. But you better believe state-sponsored threat actors love going after the media. The stakes? You guessed it. Misinformation, suppression, and espionage. The lesson in this, if your workplace still thinks MFA is optional, show them this segment. Convenience ain't worth compromise. In our next story, GCHQ intern gone rogue. Top secrets were in his pocket. This is one for the spy thriller files. A former intern at the UK's intelligence agency, GCHQ, got sentenced to 7.5 years in prison for taking home some top secret data using his mobile phone. He copied the info just 2 days before his internship ended and stashed it on his personal computer. And if that's not enough, he was also caught with illegal images. This dude basically sabotaged national security and showed us what bad screening looks like. You know what that means? Background checks still matter. Access controls matter. If your intern can swipe top secret files like it's a USB mixtape, your whole system needs an audit. SimpleHelp remote tools turn ransomware superhighway. CISA just dropped an alert ransomware actors were actively exploiting unpatched SimpleHelp RMM instances. They're using this to breach utility billing systems. The exploit? CVE 2024-57727, a path traversal flaw that's been open since January. The attackers, they are leveraging misconfigured or exposed endpoints, jumping straight into networks through an open backdoor. If you didn't patch this, you've already lost. If you're not patching your remote tools, you're basically emailing attackers with a guest pass. And our next one, Trend Micro. When encryption servers break bad. Trend Micro just patched a hot mess of flaws in their endpoint encryption policy server. 8 of them. 4 clocked in at a CVSS 9.8. We are talking remote code execution before login, SQL injection, deserialization chaos. The whole exploit buffet. No exploits seen yet, but if you delay these patches, don't be surprised when your endpoints start acting like haunted machines. This means apply updates and check your logs. These are the kinds of vulnerabilities that hide until it's too late. 2 healthcare tech firms, Ocuco in Ireland and Episource in California, both hit. Ocuco lost data for 240,000 plus individuals. Episource was breached in January through February, but didn't notify the Attorney General until June. IlSec ransomware is the suspected villain here. Ocuco's take, or their mistake, leaving full data sets, not masked, not obfuscated, sitting in non-prod servers. Rookie mistake. If your dev environment has real data, it needs real protection, period. Zoomcar, the Uber of India, got breached again. 8.4 million user records exposed. Names, phone numbers, emails, car reg numbers. No passwords this time. Small win, I guess. They disclosed via SEC filings. Employees were tipped off by a threat actor. The same platform was breached back in 2018. If your breach playbook isn't evolving, neither is your security. Let that be the lesson. NHS professionals, silent database theft. NHSP, a UK staffing agency, got hit last year and never told the public. Attackers swiped the Active Directory database using stolen Citrix credentials, then escalated privileges using Cobalt Strike. No public service outage, but the database was described as the keys to the kingdom. Deloitte came in, and the damage control was tight, but late. The lesson in this: you may pass the audit and still fail the test. Real resilience comes from readiness, not reports. WestJet cyber turbulence. Canadian airline WestJet experienced a cyber attack that disrupted their internal systems, website, and app. The recovery is in motion, but service glitches remain. Law enforcement and Transport Canada are investigating. The details? Sparse at best. But disruption to systems like this could easily ground flights and delay services. The lesson in this: airlines equal critical infrastructure. Expect real-time updates, backup systems, and public-facing crisis communications. In our next one, UNFI. Cyber groceries are back on the shelves. Grocery distributor UNFI is recovering from a June 5th cyber attack that knocked out their ordering systems. They've gone analog, pen to paper orders to keep food moving. No word on the threat actor, but the impact was real. Stores saw shortages, deliveries stalled. The lesson is: your BCP needs to handle analog transitions. But don't forget, restoring digital operations safely is the end game. In our next one, Internet Stormcast tech highlights. Stormcast dropped a few heat checks this week. Data extraction from JPEGs using JPEG dump. Anubis ransomware now wipes data after encryption. Mitel vulnerability patched plus exploit. POC in the Wildcat Stealer hiding in Excel, HCA, and JPEG payloads. And Discord, vanity links are being revived for malware delivery. Threats are evolving fast. Image files, Discord links, old bugs. Nothing's off the table. They just hit us with what might be the largest collection of stolen credentials ever. Researchers at CyberNews found 30 unsecured data sets, totaling up to 16 billion login credentials. Not just from anyone, but from Apple, Google, Facebook, GitHub, government portals, VPNs, you name it. This isn't recycled data. It's fresh logs sucked from infostealer malware running rampant on infected devices. And the scary part, some of these include session cookies and tokens, meaning criminals could bypass two-factor authenticity on accounts without even knowing your password. I'm begging you, if you are still using passwords alone, you're basically handing over the keys again. Change all passwords now. Use unique ones. Turn on 2FA, ideally with an authenticator or hardware key, not SMS. And switch to passkeys whenever possible. And for businesses, scan your network's infostealer malware and monitor for suspicious credential exports. This is huge. Let's get ahead of it now. Don't just survive the cyber storm, surf it. 23andMe taught us our DNA is up for auction. The Washington Post reminded us if we report on the world's going to come for your inbox. RMM tools, encryption service, grocery supply chains, they're all targets now. So here's the call. Be smarter than the threat, be faster than the patch, be louder than the silence of outdated systems. This is CyberDev, helping you stay safe, one click at a time. Subscribe, comment, tell me your favorite story, and until next time, keep your data close and your firewalls closer. Peace.